Hey guys, welcome to yet another reading vlog. So right now it is Friday evening. I just came home from work and I have a few things to do tonight, basically just editing my videos, but I do really want to start on this series. So this reading vlog will be a reading vlog that is dedicated to the series. I wanted to read this during the weekend because originally I wanted to participate in the 24-hour Dewey's readathon tomorrow, but unfortunately I somehow had dates confused with my friend and I'm actually doing a Marvel marathon tomorrow. So that being said, I will not be doing much reading tomorrow, so there's no point really in me participating when I will literally be spending a good, I don't know, 12 hours or so just binging on Marvel movies. So I don't think it's gonna happen. So that being said, originally I was gonna be like this, I can definitely finish over the weekend, but now maybe not. So we'll see. The series that I will be reading and during this reading vlog will be the Raven cycle, which I am very excited for. I have been dying to read these for the longest time. I just haven't had the opportunity due to like other various reasons, whatever, and so I'm finally getting a chance. Finally excited to read this. I also believe this is supposed to be one of my classes for the magical readathon. I want to say it's for the care of magical creatures class. The reading challenge is to read a book that has a land animal on the front cover, and this one does. It has a deer. I'm excited to read it. I'll definitely take you on this journey while I read it. This will be no spoilers, by the way, so I'll definitely be sharing my reactions, etc. And I'm really hoping that this time around, because this is the third video that I've done where I've dedicated to like a series or like a book in general, because so far I have done a Darker Shade of Magic series and that one was just okay. I mean, like the first book I was really disappointed by it, and then I got better as the series continued. And then for Private the Orange Tree, which is the second video, that one was also really disappointing in the beginning half. Well, not disappointing I want to say, but just really slow, and it got better. So like ultimately, like both videos, it got better at the end, but it definitely took quite a lot of effort from me to get to that point. So I'm really hoping that for this series, the Raven cycle, I'll be right into it right from the beginning, and I'm excited to start it because I feel like everyone has just been raving about this series. Like whenever time someone says like what's their favorite series, a lot of people refer to this series and they really refer to this one guy called Adam like as their favorite character. So I'm hoping that I get the same reaction, and hopefully we'll see. But I need to go and edit my video because I need to edit this video for this weekend for Sunday's posting, and once I get a good like 1 or 2 hours of there done, I will start reading, and I'm aiming to finish about 100-200 pages today. I don't think it'll be too difficult because if I get to 200 pages, I'm already like halfway through this book, the first book at least, so hopefully it won't be too bad, but we'll see, guys. We shall see. So you guys, some progress has been made. I'm currently on page 58 of this book, and all I can say is that it is really interesting. So it's a little bit confusing, I think, of what's going on, but in a good way, in the sense that I'm really curious to find out what's going to happen and what is actually going on. There's a lot of talk about ley lines and magic and long lost kings and Welsh kings, etc., which I know nothing about, so it's actually really fascinating. And for some reason I thought that these Raven boys were supposed to be brothers. I don't know why I thought they were brothers, but they're not. They're just friends at a prep school for like all boys, and their relationship is actually really interesting as well, to kind of see why they're friends and how they're so different but how they're so close to each other. So I'm really liking that relationship as well, that friendship. And I can kind of see why some people like Adam. He is very vulnerable, he's like really sensitive, and I feel like I can see a lot of people connecting with him. But for me though, I think I kind of like Gansey more, or possibly even Ronan, to be honest, just because I kind of like the aloof types more. I don't know why, and I feel like they're more like that, whereas Adam just seems very vulnerable. He's very sensitive, he's possibly even a little broken inside, you know what I mean? And that's just not my kind of guy, but I can see why a lot of people like him. So I don't know, so far so good. And there's definitely a lot of elements coming into play, so there's a lot of stuff coming together, and I'm definitely curious to find out what happens next. But I'm gonna get ready to bed soon because I'm actually getting really tired, and I'm gonna try to read a little bit more, hopefully aim to 100 pages, and then we'll see. But regardless though, this book is actually pretty good so far. So I just got to the part where Blue and the boys just met, and it's freaking hilarious. I just had like the funniest conversation, and I'm just like, oh my god, I am so amped to see how that relationship, like how her friendship or relationship with the boys will progress, because that first initial contact was, oh my god, it was something else. Anyways, I'm gonna sleep now because I'm so exhausted, so I will check back in later. just came back from my Marvel marathon. We ended up watching 5 movies tonight. We watched Iron Man 1 and 2, Captain America, Incredible Hulk, as well as Thor. So we basically watched like the origin when they first assemble all the Avengers, and the next one we're going to watch is the Avengers movie, which I'm really excited for. But anyways, in terms of my update for this book, I'm currently on page 221, so I definitely made some progress here, and I am loving this book so much. I'm loving all the friendships between the Raven boys. I'm loving their slowly like acquaintance friendship with Blue as well, and I'm just really liking the way how this book is written. I definitely think that this book is better reading it as a physical copy versus audiobook, because you really need to pay attention to every single sentence, whereas for audiobooks it's hard to like focus 100%, and I feel like if it was an audiobook it would be hard. But I'm loving this book right now. I'm going to read some more before I go to bed. Hey guys, so it is now Sunday evening, and I pretty much have overestimated myself in terms of my reading because I'm still working on this first book. I barely read today. I read a little bit this morning when I was eating breakfast-ish, and that was it. So I'm currently on page 272, so I haven't even read like 300 pages for this weekend, so not very good. But I do really hope to kind of power through this book tonight and see how far I can get to. I only have about 100 pages left, so it's really not that bad, I think, if I actually like try and strive for it. It's just, we'll see, guys. But the one thing that I really like about this book though is that, so there's 4 boys, right? For the Raven boys, there is Noah, Gensi, Ronan, and Adam. And Adam is the one that everyone really likes. Ronan is the hostile kind of brutish boy over there. Noah is known as the smudgy one, I think that's what they called him. And then there's Gensi, who's like super rich. Well, he and Ronan are really rich, but Gensi's the one who's kind of gung-ho about this whole situation. So by the way, this book is about the fact that Blue is a girl and she lives with her psychic parents. Well, no, her psychic mom, sorry. Her dad is pretty much like non-existent, as well as her aunts and basically her entire family, but they're all females. Like there's no males in this family, and she's the only one with no psychic powers, but she somehow has the ability to enhance their psychic ability. So they always try to have her there, because if she's there, their readings become a lot clearer and brighter. And she has always been given this like prophecy, I guess, this foretelling, I don't really know, that the boy that she kisses will die. So she has basically lived her entire life thinking, okay, you know what, I'm not going to fall in love, etc. And then she ends up meeting these Raven boys, and they're trying to go on this quest to find the ley lines, to kind of basically resurrect or like somehow find, I'm not really sure that, to be honest, but somehow find the location of this like long lost, dead, or maybe perhaps not dead Welsh king. And that's kind of the story there, and they're just on this like hunt, of this magical hunt to find this long lost dead king, or maybe not dead king. So that's kind of the gist of the story. It's kind of confusing, but I'm interested in it. I'm definitely intrigued by it. And the one thing that I do want to mention is that I really like how the author is portraying them and making them so unique to their own characters. Like I think she's doing a fantastic job. The way how she portrays the characters is just done so well, like really well. But as of right now, my favorite character is definitely Gensi. I can definitely see why people like Adam, because I kind of like him too now, and Ronan, just because Ronan just seems like that bad boy, like very gruff on the outside, but like inside he's actually like super soft. So I kind of like those. So anyways, I'm definitely going to read a little bit more, and we'll see. I mean, I clearly was like overshot my like expectations for this weekend, because I really wanted to finish this series this weekend. It didn't even happen, guys. I didn't even finish first book, so whatever, guys, life is life. So I'm going to continue reading. I'm going to strive through the next 3 books. Hopefully I get to them as soon as possible, and we'll see. Wow, guys, something just happened and I am just shook. I'm on page 290 right now, and I just found out about something, or something was just revealed, and oh my god, I'm like, oh my god. It like explains a lot, but like, oh my god, I have no words. Anyways, I need to continue reading on this book right now, so be back later. Hey guys, so I just finished reading this book here, and I am just honestly kind of in a state of shock right now, just because I did not expect it to turn out the way that it did in terms of some of the characters and what happened with them. And there's a lot of treachery and betrayal happening, and there's a sense of romance and mystery. There's just so much stuff happening in this book that I'm just so intrigued. I'm just like really curious now, and I definitely need to pick up the second book as soon as possible. That being said, I'm very intrigued right now, and the ending, the last sentence of this book, honestly, I'm just really interested to find out what will happen next with Ronan, with Noah, with Adam, and Genzi. I also like the fact that Blue's aunts and everyone calls the Raven boys like Blue's Raven boy, which I think is adorable. And honestly, all the boys are so endearing in their own ways, and they all have their own characteristics and personalities, and I really like how the author Maggie has managed to make them all so distinct, and I'm just loving that a lot, as well as Blue. I mean, Blue's also a great character as well, so I love all of the characters, to be honest. There's not a single character that I don't like. I mean, like I said at the beginning, Noah is a little bit behind the scenes, but at the same time it makes sense, and I can definitely see why the author made him, and like she did such a good job with portraying that, by the way. So anyways, I'm really enjoying. I can't decide who I like more, to be honest. I kind of am torn between Genzi and Adam, but at the same time I also like Ronan a lot too, because of his bad boy vibes, and I don't know. I can decide, guys. I'll let you guys know once I read some more of this book. Hey guys, so I just want to give you guys a really quick update. I'm still reading this book right now, and I'm currently on page 102. So I have made some progress with this book right now, but the part I really like best about this book is that, okay, so both books so far, they don't really focus on any specific person, but somehow this book focuses a little bit more on Ronan. I don't know why, but I get the impression that this book is following his perspective just a little bit more compared to the first book, and I'm really liking that, because like I said already, I'm really liking Ronan. I mean, he is this bad boy, kind of like broody kind of guy, and I am all up for that. And so I'm really liking the fact that this book is focusing a little bit more on him, and you definitely get more of his perspective. And I also just found out that there's going to be a continuation series of some sort where it features Ronan and his brothers, or Ronan and some other people, but mostly the Lynch brothers, and I'm really excited about that. And it comes out in November, so I'm actually reading this book, this series, in a really good time, because now I'm really invested with the characters, and I definitely cannot wait to see what happens in this continuation series, etc. And the best part for me right now is just the interactions between Blue and the boys. I just love that interaction and that dynamic, those relationships so much. It's definitely the best part of this book for me, and the rest of the book is really interesting for me, but it's also a lot of magical realism. So if you like magical realism, then I definitely recommend this book so far, because a lot of the verbiage that Maggie is using is very descriptive and very lyrical and flowy in some ways, and sometimes for me magical realism is a hit or miss for me. That's just my type of thing. Like sometimes it works really well, and sometimes I am just really confused. I have to reread stuff over and over again, and right now for the magic realism part I'm a little in between, because sometimes I have to reread things, like certain paragraphs, because I get lost, but other times I'm very much invested and I know exactly what's going on, etc. So anyways, all I want to say is I'm enjoying this book a lot. Hey guys, so I wanted to give this a really quick update in terms of my reading. So I'm still reading the second book, but I am almost done, so I definitely want to finish this book tonight. But I am currently on page 415, so I have made some progress with this lovely book right here. And there are two things I want to mention so far without any spoilers. So I was right in terms of my romance, in terms of who I was shipping, and I was hoping it will be this couple, and I was right for that. But in retrospect though, now that I think about it, I think it was kind of obvious. I just didn't really pay attention, I guess. I don't know, or I was more concerned about other things. I didn't see it, but in retrospect I feel like it was actually kind of obvious, and because of that I'm slightly disappointed now, because it was obvious, I guess, and it would have been more of a plot twist if it wasn't the person that I was shipping. I mean, I'm glad, because I am so rooting for this couple, but in terms of like plot twist and predictability, it would have been really interesting if it wasn't this character, you know what I mean? The other thing I really want to mention is that there is a new character in this book that is introduced, and he is such a great gray villain. He is definitely a villain. In the beginning he is definitely portrayed as one, and for most of the book, for like the first half, 3/4 of the book, I was just like, why are these people getting involved with this guy? He is so, like, he's definitely a bad person, and you can see that. But then like towards the second half, his background, some of his background a little bit, he becomes more of a gray character, and I really like him now. Now I'm just like, oh my god, I hope he stays, because, you know, like I want him to continue. I hope nothing happens to this guy, etc. And I am really liking this character. I just did not expect that at all. He is definitely a great morally gray villain, I guess, and I am so down for that. So that's the character that I'm really liking right now. So anyways, I will definitely try to finish this book tonight. I mean, I definitely will finish this book tonight. I have like maybe like 30 pages left, so I will definitely finish this book tonight, and I want to get to the third book as soon as possible because I have so much reading to do this month. It is absolutely crazy. It's insane, to be honest. I signed up for way more things than I should have, to be honest. I signed up for like 3 book club picks or something like that, and I haven't started any of them. So there's that. But anyways, back to reading. So I just finished this book and I am very shook right now. It ended on such a huge cliffhanger, and I need to know what happens next, guys. I really need to know what happens next. So I'm immediately gonna pick up this third book now, and hopefully I get to finish it. I mean, right now it is Thursday evening, so hopefully I get to finish it before the weekend actually starts. Most likely not though. I'll probably finish it on Saturday sometime, hopefully, and then I can start the last and final book, which I am so curious as to what happens next. I'm rooting for so many different characters. I'm rooting for this romance thing to happen, and I mean, yes and no at some point, and there's another romance that happened as well, and I'm rooting for that one as well. There's a lot of stuff going on, guys, and I'm just rooting for it all. So very curious. I'm going to continue reading. Hey guys, so please excuse the noise back there. My AC is running and it is so hot in my room right now. I don't know what happened, but it got so hot recently, so please excuse that massive sound right now. But anyways, I thought I should give you guys an update in terms of my reading. I didn't really read that much this weekend, so most of what I read for this third book was actually on Friday, and bits here and there, but for the most part I've been trying to actually read and finish this blog tour book that I have to do tomorrow because it's my turn, and I am like 70% done, so I've been trying to finish that book instead. So I basically put a hold on the Raven Cycle as of this weekend. But anyways, I thought I should give you a really quick update in terms of my reading because I don't think I updated you guys on Friday. So anyways, I'm currently on page 196, so I've definitely made a dent in this book. I'm about a little over, basically about 50% done, so doing pretty good so far. And so far for this book, there has been introductions of 2 characters, and one of them, when that person first appeared, I was so shocked. I was just like, oh my god. I immediately put this book down and I was just like, I need to think about this for a little bit, because this person's presence in this book just kind of like rocked my world, but like in a bad way, you know what I mean? And then suddenly there was another introduction of a new character, and at first I was like, oh my god, because this person's relation to someone else in this book just shocked me as well. And afterward though, I was like, okay, why is this person even here? Because this person really has no contribution to the story at all, at least so far, at least. So I don't know, maybe in the future this person will do something prominent. I have no idea, but as of right now I'm just like, okay, other than the initial shock, but now I don't know why you're even in this book. So that's kind of my update for now in terms of my reading, because those 2 characters just kind of like surprised me a little bit. But in terms of the romance, I think this romance has definitely taken a backseat in this book. It was more prominent in the second book, and then after it was kind of revealed in terms of like who's actually going to be with who. After that, it just kind of became more on like the subplot. It's definitely not as important, or it's not as prominent in this third book, I think. So that's that with the romance. And then in terms of the plot in general, this book just really reminds me of like magical realism at its very best, and the writing style also fits the magical realism like aspect as well, and I'm loving that so much. I can definitely see why this book is not for everyone, because the way how she writes, like Maggie writes, it's sometimes so like a little bit too flowy in some ways, and if you don't like magical realism, then this book is not for you guys. Like, just not for you, because the way how she writes and magical realism just goes hand in hand. But if you don't like very flowy writing, or and you don't like magical realism, then this book is so not for you at all. So I can definitely see why this book is not for some people, but as of right now it's working for me and I'm really enjoying it. So I'm going to continue reading this book. Maybe not tonight, maybe a little bit, I don't know yet, but I do really want to finish this blog book because I am so behind. My day is tomorrow, my review has to be up tomorrow, and I'm like, I haven't finished it yet. So anyways, that's it for my update. I'll go back to reading and I'll check in with you guys later. Hey guys, so it has been some time since I have last updated you guys, but I really wanted to update you guys today. So I finished the third book, which is right over here, and I finished this last night. So let's talk about this for a hot second. I like this book for the most part. I think this book, like I said already, didn't deal with the romance as much as the second book did, which in a way it was good, but at the same time I was really shipping that romance, so I would have liked it to develop a little bit more. So I'm really hoping that the romance would develop a lot more in the final book of the series basically. And remember how I was talking about that character that appeared or was introduced in the third book, and I was wondering what the purpose of this character was, and that purpose was finally revealed at the very end, and I was like, okay, I see your purpose now, but I still like you. So so I honestly, like, the third book was a lot of, in a way it was kind of like a filler book, because there's a lot of stuff going on, but it was a lot of explanations and kind of a way to transition from the first two books to this last book. And that's kind of the feeling that I got from the third book. So while it was interesting, but I don't think this was definitely not my favorite book of the three so far. I like the second book the best, and then I like the first book, and then the third book was just okay, I think. But now I am currently on the last book, and I am on page 61. So I have made not much of a progress, to be honest, but I do hope to finish that book either by the end of tomorrow or Friday at the very latest. But anyways, the one thing I do want to say about the series so far is that it's kind of confusing. It's definitely a book where you really have to read it very carefully with every single sentence. I've said this before, but I don't think I realized that how much I really needed to read every single word and every single sentence until this third book, because there were a lot of times, like I said, it was a filler book, so there were some times when it was a bit slow, and so I was trying to skim through it, and I realized I was like, wait, I'm getting lost here. I have to go reread this whole page again because I didn't understand anything that just happened. So that was my biggest issue so far with the third book and with the series in general. It's just that it's a little bit confusing. There's a lot of magical realism. Is this classified as magical realism? I feel like I was not under the impression that was, but it very much is, in my opinion at least. And because of that, there's a lot of like flowy language, a lot of flowy writing. It's very lyrical in some ways, and it's very circular. That's what I want to say. It's very circular in the sense that she'll be describing something and then she'll kind of go back to it, but she's also talking about other things at the same time. So the way how a lot of the writing works is that there'll be a paragraph or 2 pages of whatever, and then they'll be having a dialogue, but then this one person will be having inner thoughts like scattered like throughout every single line or so. And so there are times when you're just like, wait, what is this by talking about? Like, oh, this person is still referring to something that happened, you know, the page previous or a chapter previous or whatever. And so it's a lot of like circular that you have to be like, okay, I have to be on top of it, etc. And in that sense, it's a little bit confusing, but it's good. It's definitely confusing though. That's the biggest thing. Yeah. So anyways, I'm gonna continue reading the final book, and hopefully I get to as much of it as possible by tonight and tomorrow, and hopefully I finish on Friday at the very latest. Hey guys, welcome back. So right now I'm just going to do the recap of the series in general because I just finished The Raven King, and that is the last book in the Raven Cycle series by MAGGIE STIEFVATER. Also, as an FYI, if you hear something in the background, it is my AC. It is incredibly humid. I don't know what is going on with my room right now, but I can't even open the windows because I have spring allergies, and if I open the windows, I'll probably die. So just bear with that sound. I don't know what else to do, guys. But anyways, let's talk about the series for a little bit. So I finished the entire series. I have all 4 books somewhere. I cannot hold them in one hand, but basically I have been reading the series for the past 2 weeks, more than 2 weeks actually, because I started about, I want to say Thursday or Friday, like the first week of April. It is now April, what day is it exactly? April 21st. So it has taken me a very long time to finish the series. So originally I had rated each book individually, but now that I am done, I don't think that is the best way for me to rate the series, because the first 2 books were my favorite. I want to give them 4.55 stars, to be honest, but the thing is, the last 2 books, it's not like I didn't like them per se, but I don't want to really rate them individually because I think the overall series for me was a solid 3 or 3.5 stars. I don't think they were amazing, especially the last 2 books. I think the ending was very disappointing. The third book, like I mentioned already, kind of suffered second book syndrome. Usually what happens in a trilogy, but for this case it is a cycle series, so it's 4 books, And so I think the third book really suffered the second book syndrome, where it wasn't that interesting. It was a little bit boring, to be honest. It was a lot of filler, a lot of information dump, I guess, and I just didn't really feel connected with any of the plot, to be honest. I mean, I still really enjoy the characters. I mean, that was definitely the driving force to me finishing the series, because I love the characters. Ronan, Gansey were absolutely my favorite. I really liked the interaction between Blue and the Raven boys, and just even the other students that came into play, the other characters, etc. I really liked them all, and there were definitely some ups and downs with some of the other characters, especially the morally great ones, but at the end of the day, I really liked the characters. They were just really well developed. I really liked the intricacies, the complexities that they were dealing with, suffering, etc., especially with the Raven boys, because as you read more of the series, you definitely learn more about their background, what they're suffering, what they're afraid of, what their hopes and dreams of, and I think Maggie STIEFVATER does a really good job with the characterizations. But the thing is, that was basically the only part that I was 100% loving. Everything else though, I was just not that intrigued by. I mean, the first two books were really well done. I really liked the plot, but then, like I said already many times at this point, the third book kind of petered off. I felt that the objective of the story lost its way, I guess, lost its purpose. I'm not really sure, and so the third book just didn't really feel as strong to me. And then the final book, the first half of it was pretty much the same. Like, I felt the same way as I did for the third book, and it wasn't even until the second half, possibly even the last quarter of the book, when things started to pick up a little bit. But the biggest issue though was the ending was just so disappointing. I mean, all that build up and that ending, I was just not pleased, I guess. It just felt like I wasted, well, not wasted, I feel like that's a very strong word, but I just spent so much of my time trying to get to this point, and the ending was just not what I expected at all. It was like a very big letdown in a way, and the stuff that did happen were stuff that I already knew was going to happen, because it was basically stated in the first book. But for it to just end exactly how it was stated, and obviously as a book there's going to be some plot twists and everything, but the plot twists were also very obvious. I was not surprised at all by how the book ended. I was mostly surprised by how the book didn't end. Overall, guys, the story was just okay. I mean, I want to give it 3.5 stars, but the first two books were just the best. They were definitely well done. I really liked the characters. Oh, and the romance. Okay, I like the romance too. Like I said already, there was this romance that I was shipping from the beginning, and in the last book there was a shift in these other characters for another romance, and I was loving that as well, guys. It was just so well done. The romance was part of the characters, I would say, and so everything with the characters were just really well done. That was basically my favorite part of the series. Other than that though, the writing, the plot, it was good in the beginning, and they kind of just, I don't know, lost its steam. I just didn't really feel as connected with the third and final book of the series, because the ending was also not great either. I don't know, it was definitely not for me, guys. It was a very hard 2 weeks. I don't think I should have really binged the series. I think this is a series where I should have read 1 or 2 and then come back to it maybe a few weeks later, because it was hard to read the series and just only read the series. I felt more compelled to read the other books that I was reading on my audiobook or my ebook, because I just couldn't really focus, especially when I got to the third book of the series. So anyways, that is kind of rambly, but it is what it is, guys. Let me know below if you had read the series and if you agree with what I had to say with it. If you didn't agree, let me know down below. But anyways, that's all I have to say for this video. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up, subscribe down below, don't forget to follow me on Twitter and Instagram, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.